Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, awesome. This is an interview I've wanted to do for a long time, no matter the band that you were a part of, and it's great to be able to talk about some brand new music from Bombs of Hades.
Yeah,
Yeah, and of course with
it's been
that...
a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and with that, tomorrow brings Phantom Bell through Black Lodge. I've gotten the chance to be able to check this album out, or this EP out for the last couple weeks, and I just love everything that's going on there. I mean, I can just hear all the creativity of the band that's going on through here, all the different dynamics and speeds that are going on through there, and it just feels like it's a great showcase of where the band is at right now.
Well, that's great to hear.
Oh, definitely. So,
Yeah.
how did it come together making this EP?
It just kind of came about that I felt that we should get something out there because it's 4 years ago more than 4 years ago than when the last album came out. And I've been pretty busy with At the Gates the past 2 years, so it's been pretty hard to find the time to actually record the whole album. So I just thought, let's do an EP just to get something out there. So we got it done pretty quickly also.
So when you finally were able to have the time to be able to record, I mean, did you have a lot of songs that you had in mind for this EP, or did you just choose the best ones to be able to record?
I just wrote the two new ones. I just wrote specific just for the EP. I just wrote them in a day or something. Just wrote those two songs, rehearsed them, and then decided to do the Flower Traveling Band cover, rehearsed that. And the Townsend Sand cover was already, actually the basic tracks for that was already recorded. Because we did that when we recorded the last album, but we never did anything with it. It was supposed to be if we release a 7-inch or something, or split or whatever, we could use it on that. But we never finished it, so we just throw that one in there too. So
yeah, and I do love that so much. I mean, the fact that you were able to have two great diverse songs with Phantom Bell and Bridge of Sighs, and then you were able to put on two really cool covers to go along with that too. I mean, that really had to help the process.
Yeah, we love doing covers that are really out of the box. That's not really death metal or hardly even metal. So. Or hard rock. We've done. Who needs another cover of a Slayer song or whatever? It's it's been done a million times. So it's much more fun and more challenging to do something that's really not that style of music at all, and just make it into your own thing.
Oh yeah, and when you hear those songs, you can definitely hear that you turn them into your own creations, and it's so cool to hear that, especially when you listen to the originals and then you listen to these new takes on them. It's just amazing to see what you were able to do with them.
Yeah. The Flower Traveling Band one that one is pretty close to the original, but it's just played in a more metal way. But the Townsend Sand one was I was trying to figure out, because I really wanted to do it, mainly because I thought the lyrics are so good on it, and just how am I gonna make this fit, because I was thinking about how he was singing it, and then what kind of thing works for this, and it just kind of became a mashup between Orgasmatron with Motorhead and that one. So
oh, that's so great. And yeah, just the whole collection together, it's just so great to be able to see that you were able to make the time to be able to record this, because like you said, with 4 albums since the last release, and you being busy with At the Gates, it's just obviously priorities have to be in check and stuff, but I'm glad to see that there was time to be able to work on this, because I've always been such a huge fan of Bombs of Hades, and every time that you make a new release, I'm always excited to hear what you have going on.
Yeah, for us, we try to stay away from doing kind of the same thing all the time. We still have our sound, but it's still kind of, I want every album to be different in some way. So it's not just putting on, it sounds just like the last record. That's boring, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And again, I mean, that's why I like the band so much, is because, just like you said, I mean, with every release, I mean, it feels like it has its own distinct sound behind it. I mean, some are faster, some are heavier, some have different lyrical themes that are going on behind it, but they all have their own distinct thing that makes it separate from the rest. And, you know, whether it be just a couple of new songs and a couple covers here with Phantom Bell, or the last release, or whatever will come next, I know everything's going to have its very own distinct sound to it.
Yeah, that's really what we're aiming for all the time.
So, when you were able to make the time to be able to record all this, I mean, how do you feel about the final product?
I'm very happy with it because, I mean, first though, it's kind of an experiment because we recorded it by ourselves for the first time. So, and it turned out really good. So, which is kind of a relief.
Oh yeah, and I was so curious about that too. I mean, obviously with it being the first release that you were able to record yourselves, I mean, obviously there's a lot of differences that go into there besides going into someone else's studio, being able to have someone producing and mixing and mastering everything that's going along with that. So, I mean, how did it feel having this more of that do-it-yourself approach to it?
Well, it's just the recording really that we did by ourselves. I mean, it's the same guys that always mixed the last 3 records, mixed this one too. So, and I mean, I'm always happy to work with them. So it's always nice to do this time. It was like, and they were really surprised too that we actually pulled off a good recording by ourselves.
Oh, totally. I mean, it you know, obviously it does have a different sound to it, but I mean, it sounds very distinct, and it sounds like, you know, like someone else was able to record you guys. I mean, the fact that you are able to have that keen sense of sound and you were able to record that yourselves, it's just great to see.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, for me, recording is the hardest thing is getting a good drum sound, and if you get that, I mean, the rest just falls into place. And we were lucky enough that we actually got the drums sounding good by ourselves. And actually, my son helped out with like miking the drums and tuning them so they sounded better, because he recorded in the same room a couple of times, so he knew what to do.
Oh, that's so great to hear that too. I mean, when you're able to get help like that. But yeah. I mean, exactly like you said. I mean, being able to find the right room to be able to record drums and make sure you have the right sounding drums, getting the right tuning so it has a good sound behind it. I mean, there's so many variables that can go into that because it is such an acoustic instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's just like I really love the way that it turned out. I mean, the fact that it did get such a great sound behind it, and yeah, I mean, again, you know, it's just like it's so great to see that you were able to get all of that by yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good experiment that turned out good, so we can continue doing that for the full album. Then just record the drums and guitars and stuff by ourselves.
Oh, totally. And along with it, I mean, obviously, audio-wise, I love all 4 tracks on this EP, but I also love it visually as well too. I really enjoy the cover that you guys use this time around. I mean, it's just like this really great dark, haunting image that you got behind it.
Yeah, but there's actually a funny story behind that. I mean, I actually took the picture that you're seeing on the cover, and it was on the last US tour. Not the last one, but the US tour that At the Gates did with Behemoth. And Tampa accidentally spilled some sour milk on the front lounge on the sofa there, and I just laughed my ass off and took a picture of it. And then when I looked at the picture, it was like this looks like a weird morphed like skull. And it's like, oh, this is a fucking really cool album cover, if you can tamper with it a bit. So our bass player who does all the graphic stuff, he just took the picture and just made the sofa disappear. So it's just dark, you know. So it's the actual skull you're seeing is actually sour milk.
That's amazing. I never would have guessed that was sour milk. I mean, I just thought it was like some kind of like morphed kind of skull that was going on behind it. That's just amazing.
It looks like someone has actually painted it and done a weird painting. But it's so, well, in a way, Tampa did the painting by accident, you know. So.
Oh, that's so great. And it goes to show that you never know where inspiration's going to come from. I mean, you could have like this amazing vision of what you want to do with a release, or sometimes it can be a total accident and you just find something so funny you want to be able to take a picture of it. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that whole, if I hadn't taken a picture of that, I could just have laughed at Tompa and just helped him clean it up. But I actually took a picture and just seeing it afterwards, and it's like, this is really cool. You can actually use this.
Oh, totally. With that in mind, I mean, obviously with, being able to get an image like that on the last tour and, being able to do some amazing work since you've been able to join with At the Gates. I mean, what is that like for you to be able to channel your playing into different styles like that between different bands?
That's one of the reasons I actually play in like a bunch of bands, because I love playing with different people, and I'm lucky enough to be able to play with really close friends in all my bands, so all the bands I play in, I'm really good friends with everyone. So it's like, I kind of feed off that. And especially playing, it's different styles, everything, so it's no band is the same,
Oh yeah, that's what I appreciate so much. I mean, with the bands of the past, the bands of the present, and I can only imagine bands that might be possible in the future as well. I mean, just being able to show all these different sides of metal, sometimes not metal at all, and just being able to, really show off what you're capable of as a songwriter and a guitarist.
Yeah, I mean, for me, actually, now, I've got a new band now that's mainly, I used to be in a band called Cripple Black Phoenix, which is more like psychedelic, like post-rock kind of fusion, 70s classic rock, whatever, it's a bunch of things thrown in there. And I had too many conflicting schedules with At the Gates, so I was asked to leave that band because of that, And then a bunch of other people from that band left the band, and we all still wanted to play together, so we formed a new band. And we were actually supposed to be recording our first album last week in the UK, but because of this virus thing, me and the singer couldn't travel to the UK. So hopefully we don't know yet when we're going to record this album, but we got like shitloads of music written already. So, and that's it's not metal at all anywhere. So it's very fun to do that,
Oh, that's got me really excited, because I loved what you were able to do with Cripple Black Phoenix, and the fact that you're able to work with some of the people that were a part of the band at one time, and being able to do something I can only imagine would be some kind of inspiration, but different enough to be able to have your own sound, and being able to work on that side again. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in the band has been a member of CBP, so it's... parts of it, of course, it's going to sound a bit like CBP because of Daniel, who used to be the singer in Cripple Black Phoenix, is the singer in this band. And also Daisy Chapman, that used to be singing and playing piano in Cripple Black Phoenix, is also in this band. So, some of it's going to naturally sound like Cripple Black Phoenix, but at the same time, we're taking a different approach. And the biggest thing is that, Justin wrote all the songs in Cripple Black Phoenix, and he's not writing any songs here. So it's naturally going to be different, but still kind of, if you like Cripple Black Phoenix, you're probably going to like this too. But it's not going to be like Cripple Black Phoenix AD,
Oh, totally, yeah. I can't imagine it's going to be a clone band or anything like that. Being able to have some new influences and some new styles that are going on behind it. But, when that finally comes to fruition, you're able to get everything recorded and in release record form, I'm very excited to see where that's going to be going, because that sounds like it's going to be right up my alley as well.
Yeah. Oh, we got I think around 90 minutes of demos already. So, which is like, we're more or less... I've got 2 more songs to do demos for, which when we realized we were not going to be able to record now, me and Daniel just continued writing, and we just, so we more or less got material for 2 records now, so.
Oh, that's just so cool.
And then some of the stuff we threw away also. So, it's been like a spur of creativity. It's kind of like the same way when we formed the Lurking Beer. It was just this, like, outburst of creativity that just needed to get out.
Oh, yeah. And, it's like... I mean, I really love the way that the Lurking Fear was able to come together like that. I mean, obviously with At the Gates being able to morph into what they are, what you guys are right now, and the fact that you were able to do something a lot darker, a lot heavier that was going on with the Lurking Fear, and being able to add some different kind of influences in there as well. I mean, again, just like the fact that you can adapt to all these different genres that you love to play, and being able to work with so many great musicians and being able to show off what you're capable of. I mean, it's great to see that you're in that position where you can show off that creativity.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I feel like I'm at my, I don't know, I don't want it to be my peak, but but at the past few years it's been like really like it's been going the right way. It's like, I mean, it's always, I mean, I'm not craving recognition and stuff, but it's not what I'm striving for. For me, always like writing music or playing music that's written for the sake of music, not for the sake of selling records or whatever. That's more like what I'm striving for. But at the same time, it's like, it's nice that people are actually recognizing what you're doing now. So.
Oh, totally. And that's the reason why you got to do it as well. I mean, being able to scratch that creative itch and being able to, hopefully have some people that are able to appreciate it as well. But writing songs for the sake of writing music and getting what you want out of everything that you're a part of, I mean, that's the reason to do it.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So, obviously, hopefully being able to record everything that's coming up with that new band to look forward to as well. Is there anything else that you got working on as well for like recording new material for anything else coming up?
Well, At the Gates are in the writing process right now for the next album, which will be recorded by the end of the year. So, I mean, with all this thing now that we're not going to be able to do any shows this year, probably. I mean, more or less the whole summer is gone now. We were supposed to do a bunch of festivals, but which makes in a good way, it gives us more time to really focus on the next record. And it's the same thing with Lurking Fear, and the same thing with this new project, and the same thing with Bombs of 80s. All of us get time to actually just like, oh, we don't have anything else that like can shift our focus. Like, oh, now we have like 10 gigs to do or whatever. You can just totally focus on doing the record.
Yeah. And
with, I mean, all that. So if all goes, I think probably all four bands, I mean, I play in 5 bands. God McCover will never record anything new. So, but 4 bands will do a record this year. So. So I mean, it's which is nice, you actually have the time to do it.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the positives that I'm trying to look at with everything that's going on in the world right now is so many musicians are able to hopefully have that creative juices flowing to be able to write some new music, being able to refine everything the way that they want to be able to make it, perfect those songs the best that they can, so they can go and record it, and hopefully some amazing music is able to come out of this time period.
I'm like convinced that 2021 is going to be like a year to remember when it comes to really good records. I mean, it's like, because it needs, I mean, things are being, I mean, to be honest, I think the last 20 years has been the worst 20 years in music probably ever. So in every kind, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I don't really listen to metal anymore. No new metal. It's probably like one record a year, maybe, like floats my boat, but usually it just bores me to tears, because it's nothing new happening. There's no one like trying to like. I mean, you can't really reinvent the wheel either, But who wants to like do the same thing all over and over again, which a lot of bands do? Which just. I can't really understand why.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless it's like financial reasons and like not breaking what fits.
I totally get that. And
yeah.
I mean, and to be fair, also a lot of, certain bands, their fans demand that they just do the same thing, which is kind of like also. I mean, as a fan of music myself, I would never demand from a band or an artist that I like to do the same thing over and over. I mean, That's why my favorite artists and bands are the ones that are always changing.
Oh yeah, and I do find that to be so important too. You know, when a band is able to write the music that they want to write at that specific time. I mean, I always find that to be the most authentic music and the best music that
Yeah.
they're able to come up with at that time.
Yeah, but then I mean, then there's a lot of them that really can't change also because they can't really do anything else that they're doing. And please don't experiment. I mean, there's certain bands like that. Like, I mean, do I need to say Morbid Angel or whatever, you know? But or I mean, there's a bunch of like examples of that, you know. And the '90s were a terrible like decade for metal when it came to experimenting, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that's just, I mean, when bands are following the time, you know, it's like, oh, now this is like the most happening thing, and we need to follow this. You actually need to be ahead of things instead of like following stuff that is coming, you know. That's why my favorite artist of all time is David Bowie, because he was always ahead of everyone. He was always looking to the underground or whatever was like happening there, and he got inspired by that and then just took it further, you know. And it's better to do that instead of looking at what's selling records. We need to do that too, which is just, for me, it's just pointless, because it's just, then what are you in it for?
Yeah, it's such a true statement. I mean, when being a musician, I mean, the most fulfilling part of it is when you are able to show off what you want to do creatively and what you want to be able to accomplish. And again, you know, just the fact that you're able to have all these different outlets and being able to show off all these different sides of you. And of course, bringing things back to the beginning here with some amazing new music here with Bombs of Hades and Phantom Bell, which is coming out tomorrow through Black Lodge. And, you know, it's just like, it's some great music to be able to tide people over until you're able to get back in the studio, being able to record with all these great bands that you're a part of, and everything to look forward to, you know, towards the end of 2020 and especially in 2021 when there's so much good music that can come out.
Yeah. So it just, I mean, it just feels like this year is just kind of limbo. I mean, a lot of things are probably going to get done this year, though. So that's the only good thing about it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, 2020 is that dark year, and it's going to be a lot of work being able to get things done. But I think there is going to be that payoff in 2021. And I'm again, you know, just with everything that you were talking about, I can't wait to see everything that you got looking forward to in the future. Because if this is what you got going on right now with Bombs of Hades, I mean, being able to see the other sides of what you got going on, I just know it's going to be amazing music.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem. And with that, I think that's an amazing note to end on. Thank you very much for taking this time to be able to talk to me about everything that you got going on right now. And of course, again, Phantom Bell coming out tomorrow. I really love this EP. I'm so excited to see that there was some new music that you were able to record, and being able to show that off tomorrow. And again, just thank you very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about all of it.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Before we're done, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I hadn't brought up yet?
No, I think I'm good.